Fam, how y'all doing out there today on this 6 of Hearts day? It's something that's really interesting going on, and this is why we love the cards because celebrities bring us so much texture to understanding certain energies. And there's something going on with T.I. and his son King, and it's real interesting because he's young, he's 19 years old, the rebellion, but it kept coming across my feed. So I looked up his card. And this is where it gets interesting. He's an ace of clubs. And the ace of clubs is a very complicated card. And it could be a difficult card just for the average person. But for a child, really so. It's that semi-fixed card. And we know that we have those cards, those semi-fixed cards and the fixed cards, that they have a different life path. I think of them as having a whole different set of karmas, right? They had to have done something pretty, just to go through life and to go through all of their lives and to be able to be here with that semi-fixed, not being able to really live the lives that we live. And I think that could be difficult for him because if you think about that card, it's like him looking at, he made a video about why y'all focusing on me, focus on my brother. It's like he has that ability to sit where he's sitting as an ace of clubs, where he only changes every other year. He really is weekly. He changes every time the day changes, the ace of clubs changes, right? But for him to say, why are y'all concentrating on me? And I could see that as an ace of clubs because they have a whole different perspective at looking. Those semi-fixed cars have a different perspective of looking at life because they will never necessarily sit in other people's house. It's like they're looking at you from a different advantage and probably a higher advantage, right? Because of the karma that's not attached to it. Think about our cars and how we go all around the years. We are always sitting and displacing someone else. He's only displacing the two of hearts. So he has a different viewpoint about how you might feel. Maybe not even being able to connect and being a little bit more detached, right? Being detached from, you know, the things that society wants him to do and his viewpoints, and especially at this day and time where younger kids are having being more vocal, at toward the world. So he definitely, yeah, I figured out how to use YouTube, right? So definitely having that, that different perspective. And I'm going to read something that I wrote about the Ace of Clubs, right? And the Two of Hearts, right? So the Ace of Clubs typically symbolizes new beginnings in the realm of ideas, thoughts, or communication. As the first card in the suit of the clubs, it signifies a spark of new understanding, a fresh perspective, and or the inception of new intellectual journey. Mercury representing communication, intellect, and learning is an emphasis. Influence will emphasize the exploration of new ideas, perhaps the acquisition of new skills or knowledge, and the importance of communication during these alternative years, right? But though the Venus years are with that two of hearts are gonna add on a deepening emotional and interpersonal connections, exploring romantic feelings and navigating the challenges and joys of relationships. But the Ace of Clubs is sitting in Venus, right? So it sits in Venus every other year. So these alternating years introduce a counterpoint to the relational focus. The emphasis shifts towards personal intellectual growth and communication. This could represent years where there's a stronger focus on academic pursuits, honoring communication skills, or exploring new ideas or interests. The influence of Venus remains ensuring that the personal values and the relationship continue to play significant roles. But Mercury's energy introduces a more cerebral communication and dimension, right? In practical terms, we're looking at someone, that is going back and forth and delves into deep into romantic relationships and social bonding with the exploration of the two of hearts and the Venus influence. So, in the following year, while still valuing those connections, they might be more drawn to reading, academic pursuits, or exploring new hobbies or skills. The Ace of Clubs Mercury with Ace of Clubs with Mercury influence. This alternating pattern ensures a balance of development between emotionality and intellectuality during these formative years. But when we think about someone being 19 years old and you're going back and forth for the most of your life, that those Venus years, really relationship wise, learning how to be in relationships and looking at life differently. And definitely, the more you're outside, the more you discover that your parents may not be exactly everything that you think they could be, and you could see that struggle. So I see that struggle with King as that Ace of Clubs, and the dynamics between him and his family is the discovering of that, because that Two of Hearts with that Venus is connections, and the connections, in a home with Venus take on a different flavor, because parents, they want you to go to school, they want you to do the things that they want you to do. But that discovery time that you're looking at through academics, and then this time you turn it around and it's more emotional, and that up and down of that Ace of Clubs, I could see that as being something really difficult for the family in and of itself. That Ace of Clubs is a very powerful card. That is a very dynamic card, but it's a card that has to have guidance. As parents, you just don't want to just let that Ace of Clubs go off and discover it by themselves, because I see the Ace of Clubs as someone who doesn't have a good peripheral vision. It's like, it's like you're with people and you're discovering, because at some time in your life you have sat in that person's house, and sometime in that life that card is in your spread. The Ace of Clubs sees it from a different perspective. It's like the Ace of Clubs isn't moving, but the cards around it are, right? So the cards around it are moving in a way where you're discovering from a different perspective, as opposed to you moving around. The Ace of Clubs doesn't get a chance to move around you. You get a chance to move around them. So imagine you growing and you evolving like his brothers. They're growing and evolving. You think of it as siblings. They're growing and they're evolving, and he's watching it. But he doesn't understand that how he's watching is like he could feel left behind. It's because he's going to always be watching them. He's never going to experience the things that they experience on the outside, right? So I could see that Ace of Clubs, Two of Hearts being as siblings. That could be a very interesting energy field to play in, right? Because they are definitely going to experience life differently, right? She said, "Oh, you finally viewing the live, right? This is my second live. I just learned that YouTube has live." Yes, so it's my second live on YouTube. So we're on here talking about the Ace of Clubs, which is T.I.'s son, because so much is going on with him and the rebellion, and I guess the altercation he had with his dad. But yeah, I could see that. I could see him wanting to be with it's like sometimes you want to change. If he is at 19, let's see where his Ace of Clubs is. Because if his Ace of Clubs, let's see. And I'm going to my book, which is the Cardology Workbook that you all should have. If you don't have, where is the Cardology Workbook, right? This is our study guide for all of you all of you that may be new on YouTube, this is our study guide. Oh, it's upside down. It's the cardology. I'm sorry, it's backwards, but it's the cardology workbook. And this is what we use to, it breaks down what we do, which is the grand solar squares. And it has each grand solar square in here. It is chock full of all you need to learn cardology, right? And so this is the cardology workbook, and this is what I teach. Oh, excuse me, I teach from. So you can go to my website and purchase the book, and then you can follow along with us, right? It's on my website, which is levinuniversity.com. It's in my profile, and then you can follow along with us. So we're going to plate 19, which is on page 91. And so we discover that that the Ace of Clubs is displacing the Two of Hearts. So he's displacing the Two of Hearts this year. So this is an emotional year for him at 19. Delving into relationships and wanting to be in relationships and wanting to get out there and he's in his Venus years, right? 19 is your Venus years, and he's going to be in his Venus years until he's 27. So he's in his Venus years, and he's sitting in Venus this year. That's a very powerful placement, right? For a 19-year-old. It's like, I want to experience life, and it's Venus Neptune. So he really wants to get away from home. He wants to, what'd you say, Jay? My grandson's the Ace of Clubs and his brother is a Three of Diamonds. I can see the pattern of the Ace of Clubs thinking he's being, yes, right? Because the Three of Diamonds is evolving and the Ace of Clubs is watching, right? He's watching him evolve, perch somewhere because he really can't move. It's like he'll never really be able to identify in the way that the Three of Diamonds would, but the Ace of Clubs has the Three of Diamonds as its Jupiter card, right? So he has a different perspective of traveling and watching his brother do all of those things, right? That's Jupiter. Yeah, so he can see the bigness of the Three of Diamonds life and not get a chance to see how his life may be growing and developing and stuff like that. It's so dynamic when we look at cardology and we look at children. It helps us to be better parents. It does. It doesn't, not necessarily to say, yeah, we'll teach and we will want to teach our children. But I think being able to communicate from that perspective of understanding that this Ace of Clubs has a limited understanding of how you move through life, right? The Ace of Clubs is going to have a limited understanding because, like I said, they only go to the Two of Hearts. So they go from wanting to experience things in the mental with the clubs, and then they go into the emotion. So it's back and forth. That can be pretty difficult for a teenager, that I am going back and forth from emotional. And Ace of Clubs can be difficult for anybody that doesn't understand the changes of their life. We call it that biometric card. I made him a TikTok with a few cards and he was excited. Yes, that part, right? So us being able to see that this Ace of Clubs wants to experience, but is kind of what would be the word be? Not as advanced, because they don't experience a lot of things. So that Ace of Clubs may not be it's definitely not going to be as advanced as the Three of Diamonds. The Three of Diamonds is his Jupiter card. Think about that. You got the Three of Diamonds, which is 29 degrees, is your Jupiter card. You're not going very far. So once the Ace of Clubs starts discovering things, they got to use it, right? Because they're moving in that realm of that degree that is so it's that way where you're holding before you go into the next thing. So the Ace of Diamonds has to learn how to use it and how to learn how to use it in a different perspective. You're not going out in the world, you're sitting in your place there's semi-fixed, and then 29 degrees it's not moving. So yeah, that ace of clubs is a very it's a lot of energy to have when you can't express it. You imagine you having a conversation with someone, say you've only lived in a specific city all of your life, and you're trying to explain to somebody about another city that you want to go visit, but you haven't visited it yet. That's the ace of clubs. It's like, I want to talk to you about these things. I see these things, I know these things, but I haven't experienced it. Isn't that deep? It's like that ability to get out and just explore. Ace of Clubs is more of a spiritual exploration, right? They have, it's like, okay, I want to explore with the Three of Diamonds. So I know the Three of Diamonds is my Jupiter. So where is it showing up? It's like, how can I tap into that Jupiter and explore? That's the Ace of Clubs, right? It's a lot of faith, a lot of bent up frustration, because you're looking at people that are moving and shaking. He's looking at his siblings that are moving all over the place, but but he feels stifled, and then he might think he's stifled because of his parents. No, that's the position that you sit in. So I can see that being difficult for him, where he wants to break out, right? He wants to break out and be able to experience the world, and his parents are like, okay, but the way that you going about it. But the rebellion of 19 years old, right? What's the solar value for 19, right? So in my book, we go to page, in my book, see, we have the solar values. Now, solar values are very important, right? Because they tell us the energy of the thing. So the solar value for 19 is the Six of Clubs, right? So this is what the solar values look like. Each card has a solar value attached to it. That's how we find out the combination cards. So the solar value to 19 is the Six of Clubs. And that's communication. And the Six of Clubs, that card sits in Neptune, Saturn. So really thinking about breaking out at 19, you want to break out, but that's water. That's water. You got a lot of water. You trying to communicate, you trying to break out, and you got all that water, right? And if you are, excuse me, a spade, it's like water and fire. So 19 is a real difficult time as teenagers, because you're still a teenager, and clubs are teenagers, and you trying to talk, and adults are trying to tell you that you're not ready yet, right? Pretty much that's the theme of it, right? And you really aren't. We really aren't ready for the world. But that's the solar value, and that's in my book. So if you want to read along with us as we're teaching and doing all this kind of stuff, this is what I do. The book, you have to buy the book, and all of the teaching comes with it. I think that's pretty daggone cool, right? If you got to buy the book, right? About September the 8th, 1995 birthday. No, I'm not doing readings. No, I don't. That's not what no, I'm not going to do that. Mm-mm. This is teaching sessions. This is talking about the cards from a different perspective, but I don't do readings like that. I see poor Lloyd Strayhorn, you'll go in his room and he does all of that stuff. And yeah, no, I'm an Eight of Diamonds. I can't do all of that. That's a lot of work to be doing all of those readings. And you guys just thinking that it's free. No, it's not. You could book a reading with me on my well, not on my website right now, but on Instagram. You could book a full reading with me, and we will sit down and go over everything. But this is teaching session right here, right? This is where we are looking at specific things that we could use in our everyday life. We are learning the cards, and then you got to go and apply it to yourself, right? You have to apply it to everyday life, and build out there in the community that we're building in, because we're getting into some times where understanding the energy is going to be extremely important. And today's the Six of Hearts. So the Six of Hearts is um a very interesting card. And how did you feel today with that Mars energy? It's like, I don't know, it was interesting. It just, I don't know, the energy feel kind of, it, as we go, when we start out with the King of Hearts or any king, but as we go into, as the cards are getting lower and lower, it just kind of, I don't know. It's like I don't know, I have to have the pressure of those core cards. I do, right? It's like the Six of Hearts today. I was like, I don't want to do it, right? Literally, it's Mars. I was like, girl, who are you? It was just crazy to see. I was acting like a baby. I went and rode my bike. I had to put myself on punishment. I had so much pent up stuff. I had to go ride the bike. I said, you need to ride the bike and exert some of that energy that you're not using. So I don't know what the Five of Hearts is going to bring. But the Six of Hearts, we know that that's Mars, and we know that it can be a very powerful card. It definitely is a stimulated card. And when we look at the life path, we get a chance to see why. It's a very, has a very fortunate life path. But it's Mars, and that's kind of, that's real immature, right? This energy today. It felt familiar. Oh, okay. Yeah, it didn't feel. I live in the Six of Hearts community, and it was quiet. I was like, where's everybody? The holiday was over. I mean, it was extremely quiet here today. Very little movement. I know people were at work and stuff like that, but this place is pretty much bustling most of the time. But today it was so quiet, and I just found that to be so interesting, with it being sad and all of that kind of stuff. So that chill energy, right? Of that Six of Hearts. Sixes are ruled by Venus, right? And sixes bring stuff into balance. And they, can be, like they say, Libras, we could be lazy now. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a Libra. I won't say I'm lazy, but sometimes I just want to chill. So I saw that effect today. I didn't want to leave the house. I didn't want to really do too much. But that energy outside was real. I was impressed with how quiet a Six of Heart community is like that, and I still can't figure that out, right? But maybe because you're in your energy field that you just chill, right? I'm having it difficult. I don't know how the diamonds are feeling, but it's a difficulty for me November and December. I check out. The Eight of Diamonds is not there. And you slept all day. Yeah, right. Now that's chilling, right? But from the King of Diamonds down, are not there in November and December. And I find it difficult sometimes to get things done, right? Because those are the overseers, those are the supervisors, those are the ones that come along and tell you what you're supposed to do. And November and December has always been a chill time for me. At work, people take off for the holiday because the kids are so work has been pretty, it would be pretty good, but learning the cars, I've discovered that that energy of those diamonds are not there. Diamonds apply that pressure, and they're not there November, December, and that makes it real interesting, right? So I was going to do this on, let me get my cards right. I have so many cards. I collect cards. I love cards, right? So, oh wow, the King of Hearts has the Six of Hearts in the sun for this plate. Ooh, isn't that deep? That's mastery at 19. Not gonna happen, right? Not. So I am going to I'm gonna do a collective reading for the collective, looking at the cards. Let's mind meld us. What is it that you're thinking about? What is it that you want? Let's pull it together. Let's tie it together. Let's get it together. And let's look at what the cards tell us, right? I'm going to pull 3 cards, right? And I'm going to pull 3 cards. Let's talk about what everybody wants to talk about. Money. So I'm going to do 3 cards. And we're going to talk about collective finances. Ooh, right? So the first card, ooh, shoot. The 8 of Spades. Now, ooh. Y'all gonna work. The second card, oh, the Queen of Spades. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Oh my God. And the King of Clubs. Ooh, wee. So we're gonna talk about money. We're going to talk about money with these 3 cards, right? Jay said, yeah, I know, right? Whew, this is going to be interesting, right? It's definitely a lot of success in these 3 cards, but because they're spades, this is going to tell us that we got to really use our ingenuity, right? We got to really, when spades show up, spades are looking at things from a different perspective because they have experience, right? They're the elders. Now, the 8 of spades, that's Saturnian because 8s are ruled by Saturn. So this is telling us about the work. The work with the 8 of spades. So what are your desires? Now, this is what we got to focus on because this is a power card. This is a power card. 8s are about success. Now, the 8 of spades, this is key when this card shows up that you are working on something, right? Because remember, the spades have access to all of the cards. So we're looking at the diamond, the heart, and the club. So what are you working on? Now we gotta hone in on it because remember, spades are the fire that sparks it. So we gotta hone on the thing that we're working on, and we got to pull it out of this 8 of spades. For me, it would be the 8 of clubs because I'm working on things that are mental. So I have to really focus. I got to get laser focused because that gives me the energy to complete things when the 8 shows up, right? Because the success in 8 is only in finishing it. So with this 8 of spades, what projects are you working on? What things, what desires do you have? You got to pinpoint it to whether it's relationships, you want to start with emotions, but then you want to you want to look at the diamonds too, because the diamonds are, he was thinking about owning a home and the Queen of Spades. I know, right? So that 8 of Spades, we want to be able to define what we're working on. Me, like I said, I'm working on things that would have to do with clubs. So I would have to use this 8 of Spades to spark that 8 of clubs because that would help me to develop the things that are, even though they're in a stage, they really need to be more application, but that 8 is going to help me to do that. Eights are about power for sure, but it's the power of getting through. It's like what you're developing, what you're working on is you have the ability to stay the course. So with that 8 of spades, that's pretty powerful. What is it that you're working on and where do you want to go with it? The thing is, because I said like a spades, sometimes to some people it's like drudgery because spades are not always going to be there, but you got to find the sweet spot because fire is not always there and spades go dormant, right? Spade season doesn't start until January. So they go dormant and then they come out, and that's when you get the full benefit. But we all have spades in our hand. So how do we light that fire? How do we spark it to get that spade going? And that 8 of spades is that driving force to complete it, right? So you want to see where the 8 of spade is in your yearly, in your 7-year, or even in your spread. You want to see where the 8 of spade is, right? So you can see. Oh, I'm going to look right now. See my book right here. I'm going to go to my book and I'm going to pull up my yearly, which I am on 66. So y'all gotta go to the book. Those of you who have the book, pull up your yearly spread. Where's my ooh, the eight of spades? Let me see. The eight of spades is it's the space in the four. It's challenging. The five of heart, five of spades is my moon card. Is challenging the eight of spades, right? Ooh wee. So it's the space in the four of diamonds, and that's Neptune, Venus. I gotta sit with that one. I'm gonna be working with that one, right? That's collectively. So let's look. So we collectively we're gonna go next door to United States spread, right? So United States is on page, if you have my book, it's on page 139. And it is the eight of spades. It's displaced in the five of spades. Oh my God. So the five of spades is supporting the eight of spades, changing that game, right? The five of spades is a change game. And you know, fives and eights, they don't necessarily get along that well because fives want freedom. But that eight is ruled by Saturn, so it's limiting, it's structural, right? But that five is supporting that eight. So that five is saying, yeah, there are changes that are coming that are going to be beneficial, right? So this five of spades isn't disruptive. It's supporting the eight of spades and making the changes. Does that make sense? Ooh, that was a good one. She said, I've been multitasking online, just finished with Lloyd. Greetings. Oh, okay. You displacing the eight of spades. Oh, so you displacing the eight. And with the 10 of diamonds. Okay, okay. I will spark your result, the eight of hearts. I know that's right. So we got this eight of spades. And the changes that we need to do, the five of spades is supporting us, okay? So we don't have to worry about the five of spades because it's supporting common card. Now, the challenging common card is the 10 of hearts, and the 10 of hearts is the card of clarity. So with this eight of spades, you want to name it and claim it. You want to make sure that you are on the trajectory to be able to pull from that eight of spades, because that eight of spades is that spade. That's the wisdom of it. So how do I pull with my projects? How am I going to work for my projects to get to success, right? That's good. Ooh, eight of spades. Now we got the Queen of Spades. Now this one is pretty easy because the Queen of Spades is the master manifestor. This is the alchemist. So this is telling you about mastery. This is telling you about what you want. Now we got to name it and claim it. It's going to be challenging. That's it. The Queen of Spades is a mirror. This is a mirror effect of the thing that you said you want. Now the Queen of Spades is going to mirror it back to you, right? I wrote something. Let me see what I wrote about. Let me see about. I gotta read my stuff, fam, because there's too much in my head. And I like reading my stuff. Shoot. Anyway, I don't gotta make no explanations, right? Shoot. It's my life. So, let me see what I wrote about the Queen of Spades, right? Okay. Let me see. Where's the Queen of Spades? I have a book that I'm writing that I wrote about the court cards. And I'm going through my stuff because I'm not doing the right thing with my books. Okay, so let's see. My book is called Cardonia. Isn't that corny? But I like it. It's Cardonia. The Queens. Let's see. Here we go. Here we go. So, in cardology, the Queen of Spades is associated with the mental and intellectual realm, and they often seem to be analytical and insightful, right? Intellectual curiosity. The Queen of Spades is highly curious and may have a thirst for knowledge and learning. They may be drawn to intellectual pursuits such as science, mathematics, or philosophy, and may enjoy exploring complex ideas and concepts. Analytical and logical thinking. The Queen of Spades is highly analytical and logical in their thinking. They may be skilled in breaking down complex problems into smaller parts and analyzing them each part in detail. Whew! Insight and intuition. The Queen of Spades also has a strong intuitive sense and may be able to see beyond the surface level of things. They may be skilled at reading between the lines and picking up on subtle clues. Precision and accuracy. The Queen of Spades values precision and accuracy and may be highly skilled at working with data and information. They may be drawn to careers of science, mathematics, or other fields where precision is important. Independence and self-reliance. The Queen of Spades values their independence and may be highly self-reliant. They may enjoy pursuing their own interests and may be comfortable taking risks and making a bold movements. So we're looking at the Queen of Spades as being analytical with a focus on intellectual pursuits and problem solving. They value precision, accuracy, and independence and may be highly skilled in working with data. So we're looking at being able to. Queen of Spades is your Pluto. Ooh, wee. I pray for you. I send you my prayers with the Queen of Spades and Pluto, right? Who has a Queen of Spades and Pluto for life? I'm just going to say it is. Who has a Queen of Spades and Pluto? Is it the... I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head. Somebody let me know. Your mom's card. So when we look at the Queen of Spades and we're looking at as we're applying it to money, this is important because the Queen of Spades is an entitled card, right? But the Queen of Spades is Mercury Uranus, and this is the game changer. So you got to take risk, right? This is the same as the Three of Diamonds, but the Three of Spades, the Queen of Spades is not the solar value. Is the Queen of Spades is 51, not so you're looking at someone who has a great deal of expertise, someone who has a lot of landscape to cover, but you're looking at someone that is extremely analytical, right? Because Mercury Uranus, it's right. What thought happens with Mercury Uranus takes it to the next level. So what is that? What is it that you're working on? Because you need to be that first thought, that first thing, the Queen of Spades, and this is the difficulty of the Queen of Spades in a lot of areas, is the pressure of that spade, the pressure. Because like we were talking about with the Eight of Spades, the Queen of Spades commands all of the queens, right? So when the Queen of Spades is working in the realm of intuition and it can pull on all of those cards, right? When it's working on emotions, it can pull on all of those cards. But sometimes you want to be fine-tuned and work with that Queen of Hearts. And sometimes you want to work with that Queen of Clubs. But they have the ability to work with it all. That's a very powerful position to be in. But the thing is that what you want is filtered through it. It's like, I have this great desire. That's why the Queen of Spades is the card of mastery. It's like, yeah, you can do it, but you're going to master it, right? That's my challenging karma card, right? And it's difficult for people who are around me because I can't half-ass anything. Right? I can't half-ass anything. So I have a high expectation of people. And with you having that in Pluto this year, you're going to learn what that looks like. Like, Pluto wants to get down into it. So the things that are coming across in that realm, like maybe assignments at work, yeah, your people are going to pile it on you. You got Queen of Spades and Pluto. They're going to pile it on you, right? They're going to have great expectations with the Queen of Spades and Pluto. Whose card is that, Jay? Tell me who is the card that has the Queen of Spades and Pluto for life? I can't think of it for my oh, it's the Ace of Diamonds, right? Yeah, right. Thank you. So think about the opportunities that you're going to have, because it's opportunities that come out of that. But that's self-mastery on fleek. So with it being your Pluto card, that means that people are going to expect greatness from you. They see it in you. You may not necessarily agree, but Pluto is shared resources. Remember, Pluto is the inheritance that people want. It's that eighth house. So the desires that people have this year, when they see you, you're gonna be reflecting it right to them, right? The Queen of Spades and Pluto. That's why the Ace of Diamonds is such an interesting card, that can pull back because of that, the tension, right? The tension of people pulling all of the time with that Pluto energy. Because with that Pluto energy, people want something. So you having it as your Pluto this year, you got a chance to alchemize situations, right? You got a chance to alchemize and make it the way you want to. But Pluto wants you to what? It wants you to really look at it. It's like you got to really address it, whether this is egoic or this is something that's for the greater good, right? Because Pluto is saying, take it and let's make it work. The Queen of Spades, mastery. So Pluto is saying, you got to make it work, right? You got to make it work, got to make it make sense. So with that Queen of Spades and Pluto this year, oh yeah, you're going to be called upon. People gonna see you and you're gonna look like a shiny penny. They're gonna be like, she got something going on and I want it. Literally. That's the Ace of Diamonds, right? The Ace of Diamonds is that I'm gonna go over to my book, right? So tools for everyday life. This is what we're gonna be using, fam, to learn these cards. So you gotta get the books, right? And we're gonna go over to page 13, right? Because the ace represents individuality and uniqueness. It symbolizes the power of a single entity to make a significant impact. So that Ace of Diamonds is seen as that. The emphasis that very successful journey, project, or organization starts with a single step, Ace of Diamonds, right? And Pluto, it takes it home. It's like it takes it all the way home for the Ace of Diamonds. So think of yourself this year as an Ace of Diamonds. Think of yourself of having that ability to be unique, right? That ability to focus is like the ace signifies focus and priority. When something is given that number one spot, it denotes its utmost importance. In business, this can be related to setting priorities, establishing clear goals, and identifying the most critical tasks or projects. By prioritizing effectively, one can maximize productivity and achieve significance. So this year, think of yourself as the Ace of Diamonds. Think of yourself as the opportunities that are coming, right? It's your Pluto card for this year, 33. Ooh, wee. Oh, you're a two of spades. Okay, so you're 33, and what is, when we go over here, right? We go over to the solar value. Okay, fam, y'all keeping up with me, right? This is teaching time. Right? So we go over to the solar value, which is on page 65. And the solar value of 33 is the 7 of diamonds. So this is your 7 of diamonds year, right? This is your 7 of diamonds year. So this means that this is the year of great success. You know, 7 of diamonds is a very fortunate card, but it's that semi-fixed card with the 9 of hearts. And that's what we were talking about earlier on with the Ace of clubs and the 2 of hearts. But this being your 7 of diamonds, Venus year, this is your Beyonce year. Right? This is Beyonce energy. What do you want? It's like you gotta pull it in, you gotta attract it. Then you got that Queen of Spades and Pluto. Oh, this is a very successful year. And Two of Spades, y'all about that life, right? Y'all are manifestors. Two of Spades, y'all have the ability to name it and claim it, right? You are very astute, you have visions and insights, and that's that King of Clubs, right? And the King of Clubs, let's go here, we're gonna go to the life spread. If we go to the life spread on 71, and we think the King of Clubs, it's the supporting karma card to the Two of Spades. And the King of Clubs is all things metaphysical, right? Anything to do along that well. But that the Queen of Spades, which is your Pluto card, has you as its reward. Yeah, I'm telling you, that is sweet, right? It's like your work together is like, I see you, I see you. That's when we don't have this static that sometimes comes with cards, right? When they're in our life path, it's like we're learning and we're developing, but the Queen of Spades is your Pluto, and it pulls on the Two of Spades as its reward. Can you see where that's going? It's like, oh, okay, okay. So there's no friction between you and the Queen of Spades, right? Now, if you had the Queen of Spades and your Saturn, it'd be like, oh, okay, this is a little much. No, right? Ooh, yeah, Jay, the seven of diamonds, yeah. So yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. So now we're gonna get over to the King of Clubs, right? And like I was just saying, that King of Clubs, this is my money card, right? For life, right? So the King of Clubs being that Uranian Uranus, so we're looking at something that we know is in the future. We're building and we're developing to bring into whatever it is that we're bringing in a fortune is coming in the future. It's not going to be something that's going to be tomorrow. So the King of Clubs, you thinking about how can we use the energy of if we tying it in with these spades, it's like how can we pull out, how can we spark it, right? King of Clubs is already sparky, sparky, sparky. So how can we spark this King of Clubs to look at the future of how we are going to be moving into that fortunate realm that we're trying to get into. Now we're on page 21 and we looking at the King of Clubs. We know that the King of Clubs is a very fortunate card. They got the Jack of Diamonds and Mercury, right? And we have that ability to pull on that, to pull on that Jack of Diamonds and communicate, right? The King of Clubs can help us communicate the things that we're working with, that Eight of Spades and that Queen of Spades, right? The communication of talking about it, because that's what the Jack of Diamonds does. It talks about the things. So we got a chance to do that. Ooh, that was delicious. Wasn't that delicious? Oh, I love that. So we got the Eight of Spades. We're going to work on the things that we are working on, or we're going to start new projects, and we're going to use the Eight of Spades, and we're going to use the Eight of Spades where it's showing up in our life path, right? And then where it's showing up in the collective, because that's where it's important at. Because when we go to 67, which is the United States year, we are looking at that Jupiter influence, that Saturn influence, and that Uranian influence that we need to be able to create these things. We want to be outside because that's where we're going to be selling the things, pitching the things that we're working on. We're not working on things in a silo. We're working on things in a collective. So we're going to look at that Eight of Spades is based on that Five of Spades and look at the changes that can come about along the way. Because while we're working, there will be significant changes with that Five of Spades and our ideas, our desires, and the things that we want to do. And that Ten of Hearts is going to bring clarity, right? And then the Queen of Spades, ooh, child. The Queen of Spades is placed in the Nine of Diamonds. Now, that's connectivity, because the Nine of Diamonds has the Queen of Spades. The Queen of Spades has the Nine of Diamonds as his Venus card. So this is work. This is work, right? Venus represents the our job. And the challenging karma card is the Queen of Diamonds, and the Queen of Diamonds is the space and the Queen of Spades. So we got this powerful alchemy going on because that's what queens are. Queens alchemize things, right? So we got this powerful alchemy going on where we can be able to you know, raise up to a higher you know, vision of the things that we want to do. Ooh, we got some good stuff, right? And then we have we have the King of Clubs, and the King of Clubs is displacing the Ten of Hearts. Now that's real good because the Ten of Hearts is a challenging karmic card to the Eight of Spades. So the clarity, the supporting card of clarity to that King of Clubs, like I said, it is talking and looking at and pointing at us going somewhere in the near future, right? So developing these skills and stuff like that. So that's some good juju for us to be able to work with, right? That was a good reading, wasn't it, if I must say so myself? How did y'all feel about it? Are these cards anywhere in your spread? Are y'all really thinking about how you could use those three cards? The Eight of Spades. I'm going to take these three cards and I'm going to put them on my... I'm putting these three cards up, right? That was our reading for today. That's some good juju. I'm just saying that's some powerful cards that we have, right? So I'm gonna put them up on Instagram. And she said, why was comes Jay, I do not know what that is. He said, was awesome. Oh. He made it one word, right? Okay, what was awesome? Okay, so we're going to see how these play out when we have this collective. You know, that's what community is. This is the collective. This is Jupiter. This is Saturn. This is Uranus. We have to learn how to work with this energy. Mercury, Venus, and Mars are our own personal planets. They are not the planets that we can pull on. We can't pull on those planets. We only can pull on the collective planets because that's what people are. People, places, and things. And Jupiter and Saturn being those society planets, they want to make it work for the greater good. Uranus is the game changer. So we have to learn how to use that generational planet. We talking about we want to change generational things. What's your Uranus card? Because if you don't know what Uranus is, you can't change anything. Uranus is the game changer. It's the game changer that changes it generationally. So you want generational wealth, you want all of these things, you got to get out there and put yourself out there. And that's what a lot of people don't want to do. But Pluto is going into Aquarius. The game has changed, fam. The way we do things is never going to be the way we did things while we had all of that. Pisces is gone. We're not in that Pisces anymore. You know, of that delusionment and that illusionment and that absorption and people pulling on us, and us not being able to see ourselves. The age of Pisces, we couldn't see ourselves. Everything that was placed in front of us was systematically, constantly coming. And we couldn't see through it to see, no, this isn't necessarily working, right? You always were bombarded by another wave of something in the age of Pisces. We going into an age of Aquarius. It got to make it make sense. We have to do better. This is how we friend. Right? You see how Clubhouse changed everything to friendship now. This is how we friend. This is how we do things differently. And we are in that place where we're working with Uranus. That's not an easy place to be. If you are stuck in Mercury, you learn about Mercury and retrogrades and how it affects you. Uranus and you are not going to get along because Uranus and doesn't retrograde like that. Uranus is doing the work, and it takes a long time for Uranus to do what it has to do. Mercury is like this. It's like this. It's communication. You got to learn how to communicate. Uranus changes the game. So with us having this energy, we get a chance to get down into the recesses of stuff and be able to maneuver. That's what cardiology is giving us. That's what metaphysics gives us. That's what numerology gives us. That's what all of these sciences give us, right? She says, talk about them Pisces. I know that all of them, yeah, Pisces is over, right? So how are we going to navigate in Uranus? That's what we're doing. We're learning how to change the game. We're learning a new language with these cards. The cards talk a new language, right? And it's not a hard language. It's not a difficult language. When I started on the cards, it was 20 something years ago, right? And then cardiology came along in 2014, which was the last Seven of Hearts year, is when cardiology came along. So we have now come full circle with cardiology, right? And we're in a 9 year of fulfillment. We got to move to the next level. This isn't kiddie stuff. You have people who have thousands of years of studies that we don't have that. We don't have the time right now to play footsie. We got to learn how to use these metaphysics. This is how we apply it. That's why I write books. I write books because they are tools that we need to be able to apply it, right? I didn't have these books. I had the ancient books. I have them all here. I have studied all of those ancient books. And then I took what I needed and I learned to use it, but not in that time frame. That time frame that all of these books and things were written was for that time frame. We use them as tools to understand the whatever that energy is in the whole, but we can't apply things that were written 100 years ago to now. We can't do that. We can't apply things that were written all of that time. We have to be able to develop, and we got AI right now. AI is changing the game. Pluto in Aquarius is AI. Whether or not y'all like it or not, that's what AI looks like, right? Pluto going down into them little places that no longer make any sense and changing it. So AI is a game changer. So we have other things that are coming and other things that we can develop, right? And it's why I do what I do. So get the books, join the classes. The classes are free. You're not paying anything to sit here, but you have to have the tools, right? We want to turn to the pages. We want to be able to, we're going back into books, right? Now you can have it on your phone. That's fine. But we're going back into books. We're going back into learning, right? We're going back into using this in a different way, right? I don't know why I write books, but I know I do. I know that they come to me. This book right here, Tools for Everyday Life, this isn't me. I didn't, right? So we are, I don't know why I'm getting messages. We are in a place where we are going to be doing the work. So go to my website and get the book, right? Don't ask me no questions if you don't have the books. If you are not investing into this, don't ask me no questions, because you got to have some skin in the game and understanding what I'm saying. Only way you're going to understand what I'm saying is if you can follow along with me. Right? If you have using college and you had instructions, you got to go by the books, right? You got to buy the book so we can get down into the understanding. And you don't know, you don't have to. If you got somebody else that's teaching you, you can go pay them the thousands of dollars, right? My course, I certified quite a few people that y'all know, right? I don't do that anymore. I can't sit and teach like that anymore. So it's going to a different level. I can't do that. You can spend thousands of dollars and you can get certified and you can do those things. I can't do that anymore. I've gotten different instructions. So my instructions is I'm teaching here, I'm teaching on TikTok, I'm teaching on different places, and all you have to do is have the book to follow along. That's that simple. And the books are not expensive. They're not. If you're saying, you can't afford them, then you're in the wrong place, because we alchemists. We can have anything we want. If I tell you to meet me in Las Vegas in 60 days, your ass better be there. right? Because you've alchemized whatever you needed to do to get there. That's what we got to get to. The lack of understanding is our problem. It's like whatever it is that you want, you're supposed to be able to manifest it. That's it, period. And that's what we're doing with the cards. We pulled the Master Manifester. This is the Queen of Spades. This is my challenging karma card. And I'm not bragging, but there's nothing I can't have. You understand what I'm saying? When this card shows up, there's nothing I cannot have. I'm going to go through the tests, the trials, and everything else. But at the end of the day, I'm going to have it. That's my challenge in life, to have faith, to know that everything that the Eight of Diamonds want comes through the Queen of Spades. I'm just saying. You about that life? Then hang out with me. If you not, I'm not mad at you. But we are going to show the world what we can do once we start changing our perception, once we start talking differently, once we start understanding that it's only through conditioned responses that we don't have things. It's like when you want to do something, well, I really don't have, you don't have it then. But if you really want to do it, you say, oh, I'm making this happen. You know people like that. You are people like that. They can have anything because they believe. They believe, right? You can have anything. I have to sell 50 books. That's what I've been charged to do. I just got over. I had to get 1,001 people on TikTok, right? That was what my assignment was. I don't know if you get assignments. I don't know if your people be telling you what to do, but mine's do, right? And I had to be on TikTok, and I did not understand TikTok. I still don't understand TikTok. Now I can go live. I had to send them in my verification, and then I can go live when they say so. I said, I don't need that. I'll go live now. And then poof, YouTube lets you go live. You can't make this up. It's like they tested me. All of this time I could be going live on YouTube. I'm just like, y'all just be coming for me, right? Right? All of this time I could go live here. So I ain't got to fight for TikTok. Y'all can accept my ID and let me go live or not. I'm still going to teach and do the things that I need to do. So you can go to my website or you can go to Amazon, whichever one that you want to go to, and purchase the book. I got the book, right? And not only do I got the book, I got it in here. I wrote the book from all of the years of wanting a book. So I said, okay, I want a book. I needed a book. It's in my head. Now let me put it on paper so people who need a book can have a book. Y'all pulled it out of me, right? In Clubhouse every day we sit and we do this. And I'm able to take this stuff that's been in my brain for years and put it on paper. Right? And this is what you're going to do. You're going to discover through the cards the things that you want to do. What is it that you want to do? What is it you want to do? What is it that you want to do? I'm just saying. We pulled some good cards today. What is it that you want to do? And how can we unlock it and expose it to, we got to expose, spades expose things. When we're looking at January, when the ground is frozen, they got to start, with that spade, breaking the ground to nourish it, to get it prepared to plant the crops. That's what this is going to do for you. This is going to help you break through to the thing that you want to do, right? This is going to help you break through to the thing that you want to do, the spades, right? So the eight of spades is staying the course. You can't give up, right? She said the Queen of Spades and Mercury. Yeah, we know the Queen of Spades anywhere is a formidable opponent, right? But you got to own it. You can't play around with the Queen of Spades. Queen of Spades touches stuff and turns it to gold, right? Why? Because she has to mirror it to you. She has to mirror the success of the thing. So she has to have, or he has to have had the experience. The Queen of Spades is the experience, right? It's the experience that people are seeing in you. And it's why the Queen of Spades is so intimidating, because people don't necessarily experience things. They can go through life on the peripheral. But when it comes down to getting into it, how many people can really say, oh, yeah? No, people say, well, my brother or my cousin works for some. No, what do you do? That's the Queen of Spades. That's why people be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't care about your cousin. What do you do? That's why when the Queen of Spades comes around, people are like, ooh, because this Queen of Spades is talking about, it's about you. This is about you. And it hits people right where their limitations probably are, right? The Queen of Spades is hitting you in your limitations, saying, oh, you could do better. I know, because that's what my family says about me all the time. They like, soon as you work up, as soon as you come in, you talking about work. I didn't say a word. I didn't say a word, but your limitations make you think that's what I'm doing. No, I'm not. I'm doing it. I want you to, but that's not what we're talking about now. But that Queen of Spades energy is ever present. It's like you got to do the work to be successful. It's a spade, but you don't have to do drudgery. You work better. You work smarter. I don't work hard, right? I'm not going to beat my head up against something. I'm going to work within the structures of the things that I'm doing to make it make sense. People who can't make it make sense and get caught in the drudgery of it give up. And that's why you're not successful. Queen of Spades is the master manifester. You know what manifestation is? Mercury, Uranus. That's manifestation. It's like you're having a conversation with yourself. That's Mercury. Mercury is you. You're having a personal conversation with you that is developing over time. And when it gets to Uranus, which is the collective planet, you need the people to help you to bring that manifestation into fruition. So that Queen of Spades is Mercury and Uranus. The what is Uranus? It's the great awakeninger. Uranus is that spark that's needed to ignite things. It's the rebel. It's all of those things that you need to be a manifester, right? Queen of Spades. Whew, that was good. So, this is my desire for you to be able to follow along with me. And you can follow along with me, but if you don't have my book, don't ask me no questions, right? And I won't tell you no lies. And I'm serious about that, right? People that don't have no skin in the game, you want to learn this, then you learning it from me, then the requirement is that you have my book. That's the requirement. If you were going to college tomorrow and you signed up for their courses, you gotta get their book. You signing up for my course, you gotta get my book. I got a lot of books too, right? Oh my God, I got a lot of books. Look what I got for y'all. This is the Cardology Journal Planner for 2024. Look at how thick this is. Oh my God, this book. I made it bigger and I filled it up with so much more space for you. Look how much more space you got to write on. Oh my God, this book right here. I did a journal every year, right, fam? And this is how I learned the cards starting the Seven of Hearts year, right? And I'll buy that journal. I love journals, right? And I bought the journal, and every day I write the energy of the day. I wrote everything down, and that's how I learned the stuff that I learned. And so I said, let me make a journal. So 3 years ago, I made a journal, and this is what it has come. It has come to. It's like, oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. We're going into December, and December, the King of Spades. Oh, this is the King of Spades, right? One of my favorite cards, of course. But this one right here, oh my gosh, I love this. Look at the cover. Ah, yes, I love it, right? So this is my new journal planner. It is on Amazon. It is on my website. You know, if you feel like being froggy about going over there and getting it, but it's the game changer for me because, like I said, these are the tools I used to discover and learn cardology. So I'm just sharing them with you, right? Because I was out there looking for them. It's like looking for things, and you know how you feel about certain things. You want certain things, and you can't find it. Then you have to make it, right? I didn't know that. I never, I am I couldn't read in school. I couldn't keep up in school. I couldn't do a lot of things. Nobody would ever tell me I was writing a book because I couldn't follow. I could not read, right? I couldn't. Growing up, it was a difficulty, right? And I became a social worker in spite of my limitations, and it was work, right? And then I found astrology and I found cardology, and I was able to make it make sense in my head. It's like my head is full of glyphs and it's full of charts and it's full of all of those things that we use. So then it made sense. So when that puzzle came together, it's crazy. It's like I can read, right? But I read differently. It's like this is left to right. That's how I read. It's like I saw words, the letters were interchangeable. But when we put them in Aquarius Maximus, I don't care how you put the word look in there. You could put a KOOL. It's still going to be that card. So in my brain, it was like I knew the energy of the word. I was writing it the way. So that gave me some kind of appreciation for my life, that I wasn't stupid, right? I just didn't get it the way they wanted me to get it. So the cards have saved me. I'm telling you, they have saved me in so many ways to know that, yeah, I am a special needs person, but I'm not stupid, right? Uh, I'm not stupid, right? So that was good. Thank you, fam. Thank you for joining in on me. And I want to do more of these. So let me know how y'all feel. And if y'all are going to participate, just let me know. Because I want to do this. I want to share these things with you. And go to my website, which is Levin University, and purchase a book or on Amazon, whichever one that you feel like you're more comfortable with. And then join me back here so we can get deeper into the cards, right? Take care, fam. Peace.